Hey CrossFitters, welcome back. It's Coach Bob here, CrossFit Glen Burnie, and tonight in this video, what we're going to share with you is a CrossFit movement that is relatively new. I started seeing it maybe two or three years ago, but it certainly wasn't a movement that was taught at the CrossFit level 1. It was something that came on the scene a little later as CrossFit competitions became more popular. I think the organizers of those events were looking for a movement that was just going to kind of elicit some of that real high intensity that could really burn people up in these CrossFit competitions and really kind of challenge folks to complete this movement. Now, I'm going to see if you can guess this movement. Then we're going to dive into it a little bit about, the why behind it and how to do it properly so that we can both be safe and efficient and get the most out of this workout. So the movement that we're talking about combines two movements together. The first movement is a burpee movement. So now you're thinking already, I don't like it. It's got burpees in it. It also includes a snatch where we have two dumbbells and we're snatching them overhead. We're going to combine those two movements together. And I know a lot of you have already figured that out. We're talking about the devil's press. So the first thing I want to do is I want to kind of show you the movement, and then we're going to break down a couple of the different pieces just so that you have some familiarity with it. And then when we get into class, we'll be able to practice this movement safely, effectively, and get the most out of it. Okay, so we're going to switch on over. All right, CrossFitters, this is Coach Dave from CrossFit Federal Hill. Coach Dave and I went to a gymnastics seminar together, a CrossFit gymnastics seminar, and he and I got to partner up. So he's super awesome. And he really does a great job demoing the devil's press and providing some tips. So I'm going to let Dave kind of tell us a little bit about the devil's press, and then we'll kind of highlight a few things.
The devil's press is broken down into two pieces. It's a burpee and it's a double dumbbell kettlebell swing or dumbbell snatch. Kettlebells go from the ground to overhead in one movement. Couple of pieces that I want to talk about as far as efficiency with the devil's press. First, if you'll notice on the ground by my dumbbells, I've got 4 chalk marks. That's to indicate where the dumbbells are going to be placed every single time. When I come down, or if I'm in the middle of my devil's press sets, I'm starting to get tired. I want to know visually where I should be setting the dumbbells. This space is...
Yeah, definitely. I've done these devil press before, and you get in there and you're getting reps done, and so the dumbbells start to roll around, and you're doing a burpee and you're hitting yourself in the chest with the dumbbell and things like that, and it makes it harder than it needs to be. So I think it's a great idea to have a little chalk marks that are on the ground. And at the end of the video, Dave, he basically is managing the gym there as well. And he's saying, hey guys, afterwards, most important part, cleaning up the chalk off the floor as well. So we do have some chalk, some sidewalk chalk that we keep in the white cabinet. You can ask the coach and we can mark the floor for you for that for sure. So after this, he's going to go over some of the setup and efficiency tips on the actual movement. So let's go ahead and have Coach Dave do that.
Of where my hands are going to be and where the dumbbells are going to be on each rep. Very, very important. Now, let's talk about the kettlebell or the devil's press. When I'm dropping down, I want to make sure that I keep my spine in a good angle, good tension in the core, holding my chest up high, drop down. Then, when I press up, I want to jump with my legs nice and straight. You'll notice that one more time. Down, press up with the shoulders, jump with my legs nice and straight. Now
So this part of the burpee, I mean, there are a couple different ways to do a burpee. We can step up and things like that. And we'll go over those kinds of things in class. If you are going to do the jumping version where you're snapping your feet up like that, there are 2 ways to do that. You can drive your knees forward and end up in somewhat of a squat, or you can send your hips up nice and high. And that flavor of the burpee is what Coach Dave here is kind of highlighting. And what I like about that is it really sets him up for the power position or that swing that he's got to do with the snatches next. So if you can think about really driving your hips up nice and high, that's going to really position yourself better for the next part of the movement, the snatch itself.
In between my hips, that's going to add a little momentum that I can then use to swing the dumbbells up and overhead. Show you that one more time. Drop down into my burpee, touch my chest, arms up, hips up. Use that momentum to get those dumbbells started. Now, the kettlebell swing portion of it. Very similar to a kettlebell swing. I want to use my hips to drive those dumbbells overhead. My arms are straight like ropes, and I want to keep my hands together. The farther apart.
Okay, he's going to start talking about the overhead position, but before he does that, the part that I skipped over a little bit that I think is an excellent point is how he's had the dumbbells are set out, obviously out in front of you. And the first part of that snatch, unlike the regular snatch where we're pulling straight from the floor with like a deadlift, high pull overhead, we're thinking of it more of a kettlebell swing. And having those dumbbells out in front like that allows you to swing back, generate a little bit of that tension, and then complete that kettlebell swing movement that brings the dumbbells up overhead.
My hands get, the more difficult it is to move the weight. Nice and close. On the way down, bring it to your shoulders, drop it down between your legs, and then use that forward piece to set the dumbbells down in the same spot every time. Let's get a couple devil's press.
All right, we're going to let Coach Dave do some more devil's press movements there for sure. And we'll switch on back into the gym. And, guys, we're going to be doing this movement in tomorrow's workout, and it will show up from time to time. Given that it combines these two different movements, the burpee as well as the double dumbbell snatch overhead, my experience is that, if you go too fast and we get sloppy in the movement, then it's going to be less efficient, and it's going to tax our lower back and things like that. So my advice would be to slow it down a little bit and really practice these different tips. You're going to be doing the devil's press and feeling like a champ. Thank you guys so much for checking in on tonight's video. Take care, have a good night, and see you soon. Peace.